Hello everybody, welcome back to another part of this series I'm doing where I'm going to be showing you how to create a train for Train Simulator and get it into the game. So, in the last part I showed you what you needed for it to actually work, and we downloaded Blender, the kind of 3D modeling system we're going to be using. So, now you see, I'm in on this page that is called Train Simulator Developer Documentation. This is where we'll be reading all the necessary stuff we would need to know about it. It's a documentation on how to create all different stuff for the game. So, if we go into the site, it will look like this in the Home tab. You have this general tips and using this documentation. We want to be going to Reference Manual and Train Guidelines. Here we will be using most of our time. So, if we scroll down, we see an introduction. We don't need this because it's a Autodesk 3ds Max package. So what we're going to be looking most for is the budgets, the polycounts budgets. So, polycounts is basically almost the same as triangles, but there's a bit difference, but it's almost the same, so we don't really need to get into that in details. But for an engine, what we're going to be creating an engine, also called a locomotive. It depends on what you want to call it. But the max triangle count for that is 100,000. That means it must not be more detailed than 100,000 in triangle counts. If it exceeds that, it will basically fail the export, or I actually don't know. I haven't really gotten over it, but I think it will either crash your game or just not work at all. For the passenger carriage, the maximum is 40,000 triangles, and freight wagon is maximum 20,000. And because there's a little star here, that means it's flexible. So you can basically get it a bit over, but not too much over the limit, because it will start to lag more and more. The higher the triangles count is, the more it will lag, basically. So, once you open up your Blender, this is where we're also going to be spending a lot of time. So, when you open up Blender, this is what you see. This is where we're going to be using most of our time. And this is the animation creation thing we're going to be using. We're not going to be using in the start, we're just going to be creating the train. We can create animations later on. But once you're in here, you see this cube right here. You see a camera, so-called camera, and you see a light. To move around, you press to rotate your camera, you just hold down the middle mouse button, like the button in the middle of your mouse, basically your scroll wheel. You're going to be holding that in, and you can rotate. To move around like this, you're going to be holding shift and take your middle mouse button and drag it. That's how you move around in Blender. I'm not going to be going into depth of how you use Blender, since I hope you already know a bit of how to use Blender, because else this is going to be very, very hard for you. But I will try and help you the most. So, once we're in here, we want to be going to the modeling tab you see up here. If you don't see a modeling tab, you can go to the plus sign right here, and then general, and then find the modeling tab. Then you have it here. But we're going to be deleting that since we already have it. So we're going to be going to the model tab. So once we're in the modeling tab, we have deleted the cube, and so once you have done that, we're gonna be, I'm sorry if I cut too much, but it's because if I make fails and other stuff, to not have to restart it all. But we have these views, number pad. To use all these views, we are gonna be using a number pad. So if you don't have a number pad, you can't really get further than this. There is a way that you can use your keyboard on for example, a laptop, or just a keyboard in general without a number pad. I don't remember how to do that. I have a number pad myself, so I don't need to use that. But then you can search it up, I think. I'm not sure where you can find it, but somewhere. So, we're going to be going in our camera position 3. This is going to be the front of our train, and this is going to be back. This is going to be seen from the side, so the train is going to be around here. the position 1 on number pad 1, this is going to be the back of a train. And then if we press 9, this is going to be the front of our train. 9 basically does so you rotate where you're looking. It's the same axis, but you rotate where you're looking. And number 7 is seen from the upside, or the upside from up above, so you can see your train from above. So we're going to be starting in the number pad 3. We're going to be inserting a cylinder, and don't move it. We're going to go down here and like lower the tris amount to 25. Our tris amount is that what we see down here. This is what that must not exceed the 100,000 limit. If it does that, then we're kind of, you know, screwed. We can't do anything. Well, we can lower it, but hopefully we won't be exceeding that limit, since we'll be creating a fairly simple model. So we're gonna be pressing R, we're gonna be pressing Y, and we're gonna be pressing 90 to rotate it 90 degrees in the 3. So this is our wheel seen from the side. Now it is really big. We're gonna be opening this tab up here just to keep a track on the dimensions. So a wheel has to be 1,435 millimeters in diameter, long from the track to track. I will be putting a little picture that explains it up here on the screen. But we're gonna be creating that. So we're gonna be going to our number pad 1 view, our front view. We're gonna be making it smaller. So this is gonna be the axle, not the wheel on the side, but the axle itself. We're going to be going into edit mode by pressing tab. We're going to click on this to get a view of it all. Then we have it here. We're going to be making this about, and we're going to go out again. We're going to be making this about in the the C axis. We're going to be making it 1.435. Then we just click enter. Then it should be the length that we need to use for a normal track. Of course, if you have to use smaller tracks or anything else, then you have to make it different to that. But we're going to be using a normal width track. So we're going to be going into edit mode again and click on this again. Then we can cut it. There we go. And then we can probably set it around here. And we're also gonna be doing this. We're gonna be taking this and getting it into the middle itself, so we can mirror the thing, so we don't have to do it on both sides. The mirror tool is probably the tool or the modifier we're gonna be using the most. But here we have it. Now we can go out of edit mode, add modifier, and add a mirror modifier. We're gonna be doing it in the C axis. There we go. It is still 1.435 meters long, the exact width we need. So now we can go into edit mode again and make this bigger to make it look nicer. And then we can create the wheel by E and then S to scale it. And then it has to be down here to the red line, because this is basically the ground of the track itself. So now we can do that. We can do this, make it a bit wider, go in again, or extrude it again, extrude it again, and then scale it down, extrude again, and then extrude again, and then scale it down. Then we're gonna be going out and see here, we're gonna be like having a little corner thing here, so we're gonna be extrude again and make it go inside. And then we're gonna scale it down again. That is basically our wheel. So now we have it on both sides. Okay, I see. Maybe it's a bit too big on this. We're just gonna be creating it a less bigger right here. There we go. That should be done. Okay, so now we have our wheel right here. This is gonna be the wheel we're gonna be using. Wait. Yes, so Okay, now we have a wheel, so now we can place it on the... Okay, now we have a wheel, so now we can place it on the y-axis, like pull it more forward. So this is going to be a front wheel right here. We do that by going up to the y-axis up here. So we can, for example, type if 1.5, that means the first axis is going to be 1.5 meters ahead. Then we can duplicate it by Shift D and then right click, and then we can take it down and then put it on minus 1.5. Then they're equally the amount of distance from the point 0, 0, 0. Now we have it here. That's our two wheels. We can shade it smooth, and now it looks a bit retarded. I know. We go into this, like this tab. I don't remember what it's called. We're going into normals and auto smoothing it on both sides. And now we have it. It looks it looks a bit retarded. Let's just fix that up. There we go. We're gonna be doing that on both sides. There we go. So now we have the axle itself. Then we can apply the modifier on both. And there we go. That's basically our axles. Now we're gonna be going into the cube, inserting a cube. This is gonna be the frame of our train. We go down and we scale it a bit down. Go into edit mode to make it more precise, and we can put it a bit more down. There we go. Put it forward and backwards. So this is basically gonna be our frame for the train. Now to make it look better, I can scale it up, have a little here. So this is gonna be our frame itself for the locomotive we're gonna be creating. Then we're gonna be having to need a engine compartment and all that other stuff, but not a detailed one, but just something that so we can see where the engine is sitting inside. We're gonna be making like a little shunter looking thing. So we are gonna be creating a shunt where the cab is in the middle, and we have a, yeah, if you get what I mean. I will probably showing a reference pic up here. It's not gonna exactly look like that, but something like that. So we're gonna be finding a point where we're actually gonna be using this right here. We're gonna be pressing Control R, and then use while we press Control. What? No. Okay. So why doesn't it? Okay, it does not seem to want to work. Okay, what is going on? Oh, I know. Okay, so we press Control R, then we have it there, and we use our mouse wheel to have it here. And that's basically gonna be where our cab is gonna be. Now we have done that, we're gonna be choosing all of these again. We're gonna be scaling it up, so extruding it up. We're gonna be going a bit up, and then we're gonna take the middle part and extrude that up as well. And now we have our train basically. So what we want next is we want to cut out holes for our train. But there's a way of doing this easier. We're going to be choosing our train and add a solidify modifier. This is going to be the modifier that creates the walls for our train. As you can see, if I go in here. Okay, what? There we go. Now you can see there's a wall. We're going to be having it at about 0.03. That seems fine. So that's going to be our walls. And we're going to be creating a window by adding a cube, making it go up a bit, and scaling it down so we have it about here. We're going to be using it and cutting straight through. Actually, not straight through, but just halfway through. So about here. Oh, what did I do? I don't know. But this is gotta be where we're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be making it a bit smaller so it doesn't look retarded. But this is gonna be our window. We can scale it a bit down and a bit up here so it's not a big window. There we go. That's gonna be one of our windows. We're gonna set the origin to the geometry so it's easier for us. And we're gonna be duplicating it and putting it over here. Then we're gonna be creating a boolean modifier. Actually, we're gonna apply the solid modifier. You have to be out of edit mode to apply the different modifiers. But we're adding a Boolean modifier and doing it and setting the object as this cube right here. We're gonna add another one and set it as the other cube over here. Then we can, to see if it actually works the way we want to, we can do this. And yes, it does work the way we want to. As you can see, we now have an empty space in here, meanwhile we have walls. So, we're going to be duplicating this again and putting it up here. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees and be making it a bit smaller since it's too big. There we go, and around the middle. We can do this up here and say we want it in the middle. There we go, it's in the middle now. And we're going to be adding another modifier. And there we go, and we're going to be duplicating this up back here, and then we have another modifier. So we're just gonna copy it and do this. Then we're gonna be removing all of these without actually removing it. We have to. Does this have a cube 3? Oh, it doesn't have any. Okay, that's my fault. I'm sorry about that for confusing you. So there we go. Now we have it, and we can hide all these different cubes, and we have it now. This is gonna be the cab of our train. So this is all I'm gonna be showing you for this part. I'm gonna be showing you the next part where we're gonna go a bit more into detail and creating the windows and such things. So I'll see you in the next video. So I forgot, we also of course have to create a file or a save file for this locomotive. You're gonna go into your Steam folder and you are gonna find the Railworks, or where you have installed your train simulator. Find the Railworks folder. Then we want to go to source, or if you don't have made anything, then you don't have this file, I don't think. So you want to be creating it by saying new and then a new folder, and then call it source. That's how you do that, but I already have it. But you're going to be creating a folder that's called source, then go into it. Then you have to create another folder in here that's called like your nickname, I guess you could say. I already have one called Project OK, but we're just going to say, for example, YouTube. That's for example. So this is going to be what's going to be showing as the creator of the locomotive we're going to be creating. So that's just your own name, for example. Then we're going to be going in here again, and we're going to be creating another folder that is called the name of our locomotive. So that will be an example loco test. That's just an example, for example. Now we want to go into that again. We want to be creating a new folder called Rail V with like capital R and V, vehicles. There we go. We want to be going into that again. Then we want to go into create a new folder and call it again loco test. Then we want to be going into that. This is going to be where we put our train. So we want to go into it, and we want to say new and folder, and we want to just call it engine, like this. And then this is going to be where we save our file. So if you go into Blender, then we want to go in here, save, and then go into our the drive where we have the, wait, haven't I saved a, I don't know, okay, I don't. So we want to find the, where we have installed our, sorry that's not there, where we have installed our, oh fuck, keep messing up, where we find our Railworks folder, right here. And find the source, the YouTube, rail vehicles, loco, and the engine. Then we just want to call it the exact same name as what we have called it right here. So that means loco test. Loco test. And then we save it. Then you have it saved. That's basically all you do. So, that was all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.